for President Obama's inauguration. Is that right?
Yes, we did. Yes.
And I
And we
think I
met.
met your mom. I think, was it at Constitution Hall, I recall, or
It
someplace,
was.
or what? Yeah.
That was a really special experience for all of us. I remember being asked to perform, and then a few days later, the, the, the Obamas reached out to us to perform for their daughters in one of the rooms of the White House.
Wow.
So we flew back and we actually performed in the way I guess it works. And you probably can speak to this better than I can, but apparently when there's new children in the White House, to make it feel like a home, they do a scavenger hunt throughout each room. And so in the last room, the green room, the bigger ballroom, we were there and we played an acoustic performance for some of their friends and family. It was really kind of trippy and an experience I'll never forget.
I bet. I mean, pretty cool for Sasha and Malia to have their friends come over so the Jonas Brothers can play for them in their house. But
I
yeah,
think it was.
your mom was so nice. How is she doing through all this?
She's doing well. My parents, they actually own a restaurant in North Carolina. And so, as you can imagine, for a lot of small mom and pop restaurants and shops, it's a challenge to kind of just stay open. So
Right.
they were luckily able to do takeout, and my father's worked with a lot of different charities to do some of the groceries and also some of the produce that they have. Just giving back has been really lovely, and I think North Carolina seems like they're opening again slowly, and so I'm very particular about making sure my parents are being very smart. They're doing well. Honestly, they're doing well through this quarantine. I think for all of us, we're eager to see each other again, but it's a lot of Zooms and trivia nights, and I've realized we don't do it enough. I feel like now everyone's checking in a little bit more than they used to. And I think hopefully we'll carry on with that after all this is said and done.
I think you're right. I think people are realizing how great family time is, and instead of being distracted by technology, technology is actually enabling conversations because you're so happy to connect with someone and be with someone that you're giving them your 100% attention almost.
Exactly.
And I think you realized what you miss about sort of face-to-face interaction, which is cool. Now, so you've got your one brother's in New Jersey, right?
We got one brother in New Jersey. We have the youngest brother, Frankie's living in Brooklyn, and his experience is I think pretty intense. New York City itself, and I know you're familiar.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a ghost town, and
Yes, I
um,
know. I
and,
know.
and Nick and Priyanka are out in California as well. So even though we're all speaking quite a bit, and Nick's only about a 20-minute drive from me right now, it still is kind of a reality check of what it's like. But luckily, everyone is doing really well, and it's been exciting to look forward to the future when we all can get together. But right now, it's been, like I said, a lot of Zooms, a lot of
Yeah.
FaceTimes.
But I know you've been making the most of it, Joe, because I know that you did something for prom night, right?
Oh yes. So we worked with John Krasinski on doing something special. Now, being homeschooled for so many years growing up, I didn't get to go to prom,
Yeah.
and I always thought that was the only thing I really look back on. I would say I wish I could have had that experience, but I think we made up for it in this year with the amount of proms and graduations that we've been a part of. So
Yeah.
for Nick, Kevin, and I, we performed on a virtual prom that John Krasinski hosted on
That's
SGN
so cool.
on his Good News Network, which I think is so great. And it was a fun experience. The Billie Eilish and there was a few other people that were a part of this that were just amazing. And we're also going to be a part of the graduation ceremony this weekend.
That's so great. That's something LeBron James is putting together. Is that the one that President Obama is involved with as well?
Exactly, yes. Which anything he's a part of, I'm happy to be a part of.
That's going to be so much fun. And is it hard for you guys so you're performing virtually, right? And
Yes.
what are the challenges of doing that, Joe? Is it hard to kind of synchronize? And I've often wondered that because a lot of people are doing these virtual mashups where they're all at their respective locations.
I think the most challenging thing we find ourselves in as artists is how to make it unique and feel like you're you're right there in someone's living room. Because as much as you could sit down and do an acoustic performance and things like that, we want to make it feel a little bit different. And I think every artist is trying to find the way they can do that. But I also think it's great for us because we're able to realize that this is the way it is right now, and we want the fans to remind everyone that we're all in this situation together. So for us, we've been coming up with fun little concepts, whether if it's the new music video that we actually have coming out in a few days. We were able to create something really unique that I can't wait for people to see. And for the graduation performance as well, we also are just so thrilled to be a part of something like this. And I have friends who just graduated and they're graduating in their backyards. So to hopefully be a part of their performance, for part of their graduation is really nice.
That is nice. And I think it's been great to see how innovative people have been when it comes to technology and doing, whether it's the Berklee School of Music, singing What the World Needs Now, or Sheryl Crow and her friends. And Jimmy Fallon did a great rendition of Pressure. And, you know, I think it's great to see how people are adapting and being incredibly innovative. So you said you had a music video coming out in a couple of days because you guys have dropped 2 new singles, right?
Yes, we did. We actually, today, so late last night at midnight, we released a song called X featuring Carol G, and a song 5 More Minutes that we played a snippet of on the Grammys this year. And we've been kind of holding on to those two. And that was also something we were kind of trying to figure out because in this situation, we wanted to give a little bit more than just one. We're like, why don't we do 2 or an album or whatever it may be? So we got 2 right now, but we have a lot of other songs that we definitely want to release in the future.
So is it strange to release them? I guess in some ways, people are looking for new things to listen to. They're kind of stuck in one place oftentimes. So I guess there's a flip side to that, which is, you know, you've got a captive audience right now, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think there's still things we can do as entertainers, as artists, to be able to engage, and I feel like your Instagram's been so helpful with all of the COVID related information daily. It's actually like the most informative news source I go to right now because I think it's just easy. And so I feel like for everyone, we try to think of how can we do what we do best. And for me and my brothers, we said, you know what, let's just release music for all these fans who are stuck at home, and hopefully it puts a smile on their face.
Oh, I'm sure they love it. And I was also thinking, Joe, you know, if this had happened 10 years ago, technology hadn't been where it is right now. And we wouldn't have been able to have a conversation like this, or I wouldn't be able to post stuff on Instagram or shoot out my newsletter and have people read it. It would be much more isolating. And sometimes, you know, trashed technology and social media because it's so addictive and it's, you know, hard to get away from it. On the other hand, it can be such a positive force for good and for connection. So I think this is a great argument for, as long as you use it right and you're not constantly on it, it can be a real, I think, a boon for people. And
Absolutely.
You know,
We feel the same. I mean, it's easy to quickly fall into the Instagram addiction where you're just scrolling and scrolling, or it's the first or last thing you do every day. So
yeah,
at least for myself, I try to do things like meditation, or even if it's Duolingo, and try to learn some Italian, something that
that's cool,
switches it up for myself. And, you know, even going outside, if it's a nice day, go on a walk around the neighborhood, switching it up, and I think at least has helped me.
How's your Italian, Joe? How's your Italians? Can you say something to me in Italian?
Ooh, well, as you can tell, Duolingo, I get so nervous doing the Italian. I think I can read it pretty well now. I can start to decipher that. And if hopefully my Italian coach isn't watching, or she'd be very disappointed in me right now.
Well, when you get good, I'm going to ask you to do this
again.
Done. So
I'll
you can
send
speak
an Instagram
to me. I don't
video.
want to put you on the spot, but you can always say like grazie, prego,
exactly.
And that's all I know. But I want to learn Spanish actually, which is something I've been trying to do without a lot of success. So there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to do that I'm too lazy to do. But we have been cooking a lot here, and Sophie said, "What is Sophie cooking?"
Oh, she's a fantastic cook.
That was a very gendered question. What are you guys cooking together?
Well, It's okay. She's actually a much better cook than me. That's just the real. But I would say together, I've been trying to like figure out my British delicacies that's to make her feel at home. So there's a breakfast sandwich called a bacon buddy, and it sounds pretty easy. It's just bacon, egg on a roll, but if you're a Brit, you'll know it's hit or miss. So I've been trying to perfect it in time for her family when they can finally come and visit, that I can
Aw.
impress them. But we've been baking a lot, so a lot of cookies, and we're trying to perfect that. So we got a salted chocolate chip cookie that we're trying to get perfect. That way, we can share it with friends when it's time.
Oh, that's awesome. You should use Malden salt. That's the best
Malden
salt.
salt. Okay.
Yes, Maldon. Bobby Flay, name dropping, once brought me some Malden salt, and it's the best
Wow.
salt I think that you can use. Have you guys been binge watching anything or
Oh yes, indeed. So
what?
I'm not big on reality shows, but I've been watching Before the 90 Days. It's 90 Day Fiance
Oh,
on TLC, and it is so bizarre and funny, and sometimes you start to cry a bit because it's just all over the place. It's very interesting, and I highly recommend it. A lot of twists and turns, and also there's a new show on Hulu called Dave that we really like, and Sophie's never seen Lord of the Rings, and
really?
early on in our relationship, she said, "Look, if we're gonna do this, you need to watch Harry Potter. It's just known that everyone in England watches it, and they stream it or they show it on television through Christmas during their Christmas break. So it's something that now every year we watch the Harry Potter. So we started watching Lord of the Rings. I love those movies. So she started for the first time, and now we're on our way to the Hobbits. But we've been building the Lego Lord of the Rings while we've been. It's just an activity on top of it. What about yourself? Have you been watching anything new or
Uh,
anything you used to love?
yeah, I just finished a show called Normal People on Hulu
Okay.
that is based on a Sally Rooney novel that it's beautifully shot and the acting is unbelievable. I think you and Sophie would really enjoy it. It's sad and it's very emotional, but I really enjoyed it. It was
Okay.
great, wonderful. And then now there's a show called The Great on Hulu that
Oh
a friend of
yes.
mine told me is really wonderful. I think Elle Fanning is in it. It's about
We
Catherine the Great.
we actually just got a drinking game that goes along with the show. So they
Really?
sent us, yes. So they sent us. Sophie's good friends with Nicholas Holt, who's in the show, and Elle Fanning, and they sent us this. It comes with a Russian bottle of Russian vodka and shot glasses. I don't know the game yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
That's that sounds fun and dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds
So
fun and dangerous, depending on what the game actually consists of.
yeah, so that's really what I've been watching, and then I also watched Little Fires Everywhere, which I thought was really good. What else did we watch, you guys? Anything else? Little Fires and Normal
Hi,
People, and
everybody else.
yeah, but yeah, my daughter and Adriana, my adopted daughter, are here listening to this because they're huge fans. And yeah,
Oh,
actually,
well, hello. Thank
Carrie
you.
wanted to know, Joe, whose idea was it? She said in the last few music videos, you guys have had your significant others. I know wives, I know, but I'm just saying your wives in it, and she wanted to know whose idea was it to have them take part in the music videos.
Sure, of course. Well,
This is water, by the way, Joe.
that's fine. I mean, I was well prepared to make a cocktail because I know that's also a thing on your lives that I'm impressed with.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
so originally we were trying to figure out who would be a good fit. We wanted some or somebody's in this video, but we realized that they were kind of the best of the best for us, at least, and we were thinking, well, hopefully they'll be okay or interested in this. And I remember bringing it up to Danny, Priyanka, and Sophie, and they were like, well, duh, we would love to. And then the second time around, they were also in our video of what a man got to do, and it just kind of also fit the creative. I'm not sure if it's going to become a trend that we do all the time, but they were gracious enough to be in both the videos with us, and it makes it a lot more comfortable on set. I've had videos where there's a love interest and you're saying hello, and then you have to be intimate. It's a little strange, and
Yeah.
so I think this was way more comfortable.
Felt much more authentic, hopefully, right, Joe?
Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I know we got some questions from you. Have so many fans, you and your brothers, and I want to get to those. But first, I want to ask you quickly about your Quibi show, which
All
sounds
right.
like so much fun. It's called Cup of
Yes.
Joe. Actually, I had come up with a concept like this, and you kind of beat me to it, Joe.
Oh
Where you,
no.
yeah, that's okay. Maybe I can show you around somewhere in an
I would
episode.
ask.
But
Oh, please.
you go to cities and you have sort of a favorite son or daughter of that city kind of give you a tour, and you cup of joe, you drink the coffee from that city. Tell me about it and how much fun you had doing it, because you had some incredible people showing you around.
Absolutely. I would travel with my brothers and another band that I was in for, well, still in DNZ, and we were traveling for years and years and thinking about, wow, we don't really get to see these cities that often. We see the hotel, the venue, and then back on the plane or bus. And it happens for quite a good amount of entertainers. So we said, why don't we slow things down just a little bit? In the time that we have before the show, I'll go venture out in the city and explore. And it was something that I would do on my own time. And I said, I think this could be an interesting show. So whether if it's starting with a cup of coffee and then meeting up with somebody that knows the city really well or just loves that city, and then we
Right.
venture off into doing some sort of adventure or trying the locals' food. And it was a really great experience for me, at least on this last tour, where I would meet interesting characters. And since you name dropped Bobby Flay and then dropped Matthew McConaughey, was our first person to get a part of, well, he was our first episode in Austin, and he kind of set the bar. So we were able to really get great people. And I was always put through something really bizarre. In Austin, I was playing a chicken shit bingo, which is a thing in Austin. And then we were in New York with Tina Fey, and she convinced me to go on stage, and I did some stand up. So I'm put through a challenge, but I'm also having a great time with different people. And also it's on Quibi, which is only like 8 minutes. So you can binge watch it very easily.
That sounds like so much fun. And didn't you do Amsterdam, you and Sophie, because that's the city where you fell in love? Am I right about
Yeah,
that?
you're right. So that city means a lot to us. And I think Amsterdam is somewhere probably in someone's mind like Vegas, where they think it's just the party city. And there's so much more to it. And so I went there thinking, okay, well, besides the red light or some of the other places, the coffee shops, let's see what's in Amsterdam. And we ended up having a great time. We did live painting, and we walked through canals I've never seen. We went to thrift stores, and that was great. And with my brothers, we were in Barcelona, and we did a human tower, which I don't think anyone's going to do anytime soon, but because you're obviously very close and touching a lot of people.
Yeah,
But it's such a
exactly.
cool experience, and I really hope to be able to do another season after all this.
It sounds like it must have been so much fun, and I'm excited to watch them. All right, I got to take my sunglasses off and put my reading glasses on, Joe, because I just want to ask you a few questions from your fans.
Sure.
Are the Joe Bros releasing an album this year?
Ah, well, we do have an album worth of songs. So we've been looking at how, I guess, these two songs will do, and what the future holds for all of us, because what comes with releasing an album is we want to get on stage. So fingers crossed, but if it's up to me, I'll release the thing. Maybe I'll leak it.
Yeah. Someone asked, what's your favorite song to perform? And that came from the comments here. So I want to
Sure.
make sure that we get to some of those too.
Favorite song to perform? I have to say our song Sucker is an exciting one to play live right now. It's a song that really helped bring me and my brothers back together after so many years, and to share the stage again and hear the audience sing that back, it's the best.
Okay. Here's we had what shows you're watching in quarantine. What's your what's your favorite place to eat when you're back in Bergen County, New Jersey?
Wow. We moved away from New Jersey so long ago, but I thought I would be like, all right, I'm only going to be living in California from now on. But my brother obviously has two beautiful daughters and a beautiful family that he's growing over there. So we're there quite a bit. I'd actually say my childhood bagel shop is still around. I think everything else is
Really?
probably is gone by now. But yes, Goldberg's Bagels in Bergen County is one of my favorites.
Well, good, because there's a Goldberg's out here that
Oh,
we go
really?
to all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. What's your
which is
order then?
nice. Huh?
What's your order? Do you have a go-to?
Everything flake. Do they have flagels there?
Flagel.
Flagel, a flat bagel.
Oh, no, but that does sound like a very California thing.
Yeah, this is, well, at the Goldberg's near
A
us, it's
healthy
an
version.
everything flagel. It's basically a bagel that looks like it was run over by a car.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good. I'll
it's
give it a
really,
try. But
yeah,
I'm
it's
an
really,
everything bagel kind of guy as well. So I go everything bagel. It's usually egg, ham, and cheese.
sounds good.
Not that you
I'm
asked, but yeah.
usually scallion tofu myself, but
Okay.
my daughter's giving me a weird look. Okay, I have to ask you from Stacy, who works with me. Her daughters, Hayden and Skylar, say, "Thanks for keeping us singing, dancing, and TikToking. Are
Oh,
you
nice.
writing any new music? And if so, what's inspiring you right now?"
Well, speaking of TikTok, I think it's time Katie Couric gets a TikTok.
I have a TikTok.
I think you do?
I have like I just did one thing once, but I think I should do a TikTok dance to Sucker.
I think it's a good idea.
Now my daughter's really
You
giving
can
me
just
weird looks.
embarrass your daughters, get on TikTok. I'm a fan.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I completely blanked on the
Oh, so the
question.
question
I just
is,
got
are you
excited
writing
about.
any new music? And if so, what's inspiring you?
Oh yes, I've been working on a bunch of new music. I can't speak too much about. There's a few fun projects I'm working on besides brothers related stuff that I'm looking forward to. Nothing like solo music or anything like that. So nobody needs to be worried the band's breaking up. But I'm doing
Okay.
some other things outside of the brothers just to keep myself inspired. And you can actually work from afar. Usually songwriting sessions, you need to be in the same room, but we actually have been working quite well from different places the last few weeks. So what's inspiring me right now is just how to keep people, like I said earlier, keep people smiling. I think there's a few songs out there right now that are related to the situation we are in now, but some sort of hope I think is what we need.
I agree. And I agree. And making people smile is a really important thing right now. Okay, just a couple more, because someone just said that Nick is going live in 5 minutes. So I don't want to like,
Okay,
overlap.
well,
And
that's
you've
fine.
been sweet to talk to me as long as you have. Um, let's see. What was the first concert you ever attended? Carrie's first concert was a Jonas Brothers concert, by the way.
No way.
Right? Where was it, Carrie?
I don't remember, but we also saw them on New Year's Eve 2009.
We also saw you New Year's Eve 2009.
Okay.
Like, when it was becoming 2009.
When it was becoming 2009.
Wow.
Taylor Swift performed.
You performed and Taylor Swift performed
At Times Square.
at Times Square.
Times Square. That's
Yeah.
right. It was a really. I remember it was such a cold year.
It was so cold. I remember that. It was so cold. Okay. All right. All right. Wait, what was the question that I just asked you? What was the first concert you ever attended?
Oh, the first concert I ever attended. Honestly, it was. I don't remember the name of the main band, but I remember the
Hopefully
opening
they're
band
not-
I loved. There was a band. I think they're still around, called MXPX, and they were a punk band. And it was the first time I saw moshing in a crowd, and I just remember being terrified. And I don't know how we convinced my parents to let me and my older brother go alone.
That's funny. And finally, what do you miss most about living in Australia?
Oh, well, okay, so explain. I was in Australia doing The Voice as a
Yeah,
mentor.
was that fun? I love Australia so much.
It's incredible. I miss, it sounds cliche, but I miss the people. I miss the food. They honestly know their brunches. I think they created brunch. And I miss also, I mean, I obviously am a coffee lover from Cup of Joe. Their coffees was fantastic. And I miss working with some of those artists. It was a really special experience, and I can't wait to go back.
And I don't know if you got to spend much time. Were you in Sydney?
I was in, yeah, so I lived right on the beach in Bondi.
Oh,
So
I love Bondi Beach.
And I had a hard time leaving because all the restaurants were fantastic, and you're living right there. And but I spent a lot of time in Sydney, and I've toured throughout Australia. I think it's one of the most beautiful places, and you really do feel like you're off the grid when you go, because the time difference is so wacky from America that you really just end up having alone time and do your thing. So if everyone's if anyone's watching from Australia, shout out. But if you haven't traveled to Australia, when it's time, take a trip.
Yeah, I love it there, and I think the people are incredible. They're so warm. The only problem I had is two problems. Vegemite, sorry, no can
Nope.
do Vegemite. And on their hamburgers, they put beets basically, and duck sauce. What is that?
Yeah, there's a few things that I didn't bring home with me.
Yeah,
Vegemite is one
exactly.
of them, and
I
yeah,
know.
but there's you know what, I think Tim Tams is probably the best little chocolate I've ever had. So if you never tried those, try it out.
Yeah, we'll give them that. Well, Joe, you've been such a pleasure to talk to. So nice. I
Always
saw
a
you from
pleasure.
afar at a breast cancer event before all this happened in Los Angeles, and you're such a pleasure and so nice. So thank you for spending time with
Of
us.
course,
And
thank you for taking the time, and I'm holding you to the next season. You're on.
okay, that would be great. I'll have to
You pick
think
the
of some
city.
cool place. I will. I'll pick a
Absolutely.
fun city that I love. Anyway, tell Sophie we said hi,
I will.
and your
And
brothers and Priyanka and the whole gang.
I will indeed. And hello to everyone off camera.
Okay.
Have a good
They're
weekend.
they're shy, Joe.
That's fine. Well, it's good to see all your faces, and now it's time for a happy hour cocktail. So
Okay.
have a great
All right.
weekend.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye, Joe. Thank
Bye.
you.